We're gonna have a funky good time. We're gonna have a funky good time. I love the Lord. Taina Traverso. She is our Latina 50 Plus 2017 Honoree for Community Service. She is an activist, multimedia artist, activist, community organizer, founder, executive producer of Applause TV for 23 years, aired in '85 on Paragon TV, followed by M&N Free Speech TV. It was a variety show which featured entertainment, cultural, social, and political segments. These were educational components enlightening the viewers on the history of enslaved Africans of the diaspora. So this has been going on for quite a few decades. Additionally, the program shared information on people of African descent and their contributions to the world with special emphasis on Puerto Rico. The show has won awards. I am also jumping down on her because it's extensive. She's the founder and CEO of East Harlem Development Program Applause from '98 to 2000. Received an award for Outstanding Holistic Philosophy Operations, chosen by the United Nations with other sponsors to have a few organization youths represented at the UN Sweden Youth Summit in 2001. The National Puerto Rican Day Parade collaborated with Los Hermanos Fraternos de Loíza for 5 years by inviting 75 students to perform bomba, Puerto Rican traditional folkloric dance on the along Fifth Avenue. She's madrina for Los Hermanos Fraternos de Loíza 2003, twice for El Museo del Barrio's honorees, and El Museo del Barrio's annual Three Kings Parade organizing member. And last but not least, may she rest in light, the Queen, Cicely Tyson. The street was renamed by the Landmarking Committee, founder, CEO of annual Universal Pastele Contest. Oh. Wow. Gotta put the food in there. And I think right there I will stop and we will proceed with our questions, which I have formulated for the panelists. Question 1. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you decided on your career paths?
Ladies and gentlemen, like most of us, it also started with my mother, like with your parents. We don't know that the mothers are usually giving us the platform, and we don't know that till we're older. So my mother, from Puerto Rico, right? She was carrying me when she decided to leave Puerto Rico, and she was carrying a 9.5-pound baby in her stomach, which was me. I don't know how to do things small. And so as a result of that, I learned later, my oldest daughter was doing an ancestral research. My mother always said to me that I was actually born in City Hospital. I learned that my mother gave birth to me in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean. I love that story. And so she was a curandera, right? She was someone who loved education and read. She was a prolific reader. She wanted to be a teacher, but she only had 4th grade education. But I learned so much from her. And so one of the things that's important to me, and she was very feisty. You know the days when the parents used to speak like sailors? Puñeta, carajo, oye, que me canto la madre de, you know, that kind of mother. And you better listen, right? So through her, I learned activism. Because wherever she went, she drew a crowd. Wherever she went, she was healing. Wherever she went, she was organizing. Wherever she went, she was giving food. So I got some of those qualities from her. So one of the things that I decided, which was important because on my father's side, he gave me, obviously, the genes to be an artist. So I go around and I use the arts to compact change and to preserve. If you walk out here, you'll see a garden. I live right behind here in public housing. And I wanted to change the narrative from negative to positive. So what did I do? I made sure that I actually planted some flowers. In 2017, it was considered the best garden in New York City. Because I wanted to change the narrative. Because if you live in public housing, it doesn't mean if you're low income, your IQ is low also. I'm a genius. I transform. And I have to, my story is long, so I was told to cut. But I will say to you, I am an African-Boricua, not Afro. African-Boricua.
Question 2, as Latina elders, we have experienced many changes and faced life's challenges in our individual journeys. Based on your experience, can you speak on one experience in your career path that you dealt with racial discrimination and how you resolved it, if it was resolvable?
Well, if you look at me, you can see that I am not white. And I am a woman. And so the challenges has not stopped. Even without the idea that people know that you're an intelligent woman, it still doesn't stop. We live in a racist society. And unfortunately, we also face it within our own culture. So we have that too. And so we have to, and what I have done from the age of 17, is begin to peel. I am an avid reader. So I read nonfictions. And through the nonfiction, I learned a great deal. One of the things I learned that in Puerto Rico, there was a time where the largest population was the enslaved Africans. And so the queen and king decided we can't have that. Because not too long ago, Haiti just got their independence. And they were afraid that that would happen in Puerto Rico. So what happened? They decided to have the decree and bring in Europeans and other people, right? And then have the slaves work for free for these people in order to control. But we've been here how long? 400 years? We built what? We built it all. And one of the things I love to say when we talk about public housing, because we're in a fight to try to save that from privatization, is the first public housing was the White House. And it was built by the enslaved Africans. And so we built this world. And if we can do that, I understand their fear of us. Because we're so powerful. We got it all in our hands. Let us not forget humanity was born in Africa. Let us not forget that the genes that we have gave birth to humanity. And it came out of Lucy, who was found in Kenya. I could go on and on and on. But it also gave us bomba. It also gave us patele. Right? We got the piece or the Q and the T, and here I go. Thank you.
This is for you, Taina.
Yes.
As a longtime community media activist who has worked for over 25 years, has been about teaching our younger generation the importance of cultural acceptance and our African roots. Would you care to speak a bit more on that topic?
It is crucial. It is crucial because I remember as a child, when I was actually growing up and I was told que yo era canela, right? And somebody else era blanquita and all this type of thing. So that actually creates an issue for you, right? So you have to begin to peel that away. So that was important. And I remember as a child, I used to say to people when they would call me canela or negrita or India, whatever it was, I said, no, yo soy blanca. And I said, blanca de qué? Look at the palm of my hand. Right? So it shows you what can happen when you don't have the consciousness of who you are and accept who you are. And who we are, as I mentioned earlier, we are African Latinos. We are African-Boricua. Yes, we have the Taínos. Yes, we have that. But always remember, when I'm having a conversation and I'm talking to folks, it's important that you embrace that and embrace your Africanness. And I will give them examples of what that is. So peel. Don't forget que tu mamá, tu abuela, la tiene que sacar de la cocina. take her out of the kitchen, right? And I don't want anyone to actually refer to me as an Afro-Boricua. You will call me an African-Boricua. Because, as you know, the evolution of the different terms that we're identified with negra, colored, all that description, I went through that a long time ago. So on my show, I would actually educate and bring folks that has the information to give you so that you can begin to peel and take off those glasses that keep you from seeing the reality of who you are, where you came from, and who gave us what we have. And I'm sticking to African because always remember that the African term was not given to it by a white Roman general. Scipio did not. Scipio was not the person with that name. It came from Africa, from a group called the Afri, and the Roman called them the Ka, which means the people, black people. And that's how the name Africa came. So there's a lot of confusion, and we have to make sure that we can actually address that. That doesn't mean you don't like your friends, your family who are light-skinned. My mother was Haba. She was lighter than her and all these other folks. But in there, she had her father, who was an enslaved African. My father, his mother was from Tanzania. And his father was from
Just that last sentence.
Okay. He was East Indian. So I am a Sambumbia, but all that Sambumbia came from one place, humanity, where it was born, the cradle of humanity, which was Africa. Thank you.